Good morning. We have been on a train now for almost an hour, and we're going to Nara today. We decided to sleep in a little bit because last night we had planned to go back to the house, the base, early to get some work done, but it was just too beautiful in Kyoto and we were having way too good of a time.
Alright, listen.
So last night after we got sushi, we decided to go back to downtown Kyoto, like the older region of Kyoto, because I had heard rumors and read blog posts that you'd be able to see geishas there. Before we actually went out to go see if we could see a geisha, I wanted to do a little bit of research. I know I had some misconceptions about who geishas were and what the history was behind it, and I wanted to get it right. So they are cultural entertainers. They do high arts, so they do dancing, they do music, playing instruments, they do poetry, and all these things for different private parties. They choose this lifestyle. It's not something that you're born into or something that they're forced into. So a young woman would decide to become a geisha. So the apprentices to geishas are called maikos, and until you have completed the schooling, I'm not exactly sure how long it takes, then you become an official geisha. There's an area in Kyoto that you can go to, and at 5:45, 6:45, and apparently 7:45, the chances are really high that you could see a geisha or a maiko going from one appointment to the next. I looked up on blog posts and they call this geisha hunting, which sounds so barbaric and awful. Essentially trying to go out to be able to see these beautifully dressed up women in traditional clothing. They're stunning. Their hair is like absolutely perfect. Their face and their makeup all white, and they're so poised. They walk with such grace, and it's such a cool experience. So if you're ever in Japan, in Kyoto, make sure you go when there's still some sunlight out to these back alleys. Unfortunately, you're not supposed to take photos, which I totally understand why, because it would be like a madhouse. There are definitely people there taking some photos. I know for me, I wanted to be like respectful, so I have like this pathetic, awful footage of these girls walking by because I just didn't want to be like all in their face taking pictures. I feel like we were so lucky we got to see 4 geisha within like honestly a few minutes of each other. I definitely think probably 2 of them were still maikos. They come out and then they're gone. As fast as you see them, they're gone. And then there's this beautiful river that runs through Kyoto. And we just grabbed a snack, we went and sat by the river, listened to the music that was playing from the bridge, and just had a really nice evening. But this morning we are up, we are in a new city. We are in Nara that is known for deer. So instead of going to try to find some geisha, we're gonna go try to find some deer.
Let's go. This morning I was scrolling through Instagram and a little video popped up of a deer trying to cross a sidewalk in Nara. And all these cars were driving by, and then finally a car stopped by and the deer just walked across the crosswalk, across the street.
Crosswalk?
Yeah.
I love it.
It was kind of great. So we're walking over to Nara Park where we'll hopefully see lots of deer. Yeah, it should be a good time.
We've heard rumors that the deer actually bow. It's customary in Japan when you greet people, when you see people on the street that you bow. And we've been told that the deer do that as well, like asking for you to feed them. Most of the time we don't do like long day trips out to places because it's a little expensive. Oh, see, they're everywhere. Can you guys see that? It's just a deer hanging out. So apparently people do feed them, and there's been a lot less tourists, so we've been warned that they may be a little aggressive. Normally they're not aggressive. Normally they like bow to you and ask to eat, but there's less people feeding them because there's less tourists. So, oh my gosh, they're everywhere. That's so weird.
It's so crazy.
Oh my gosh. That guy, like there's a guy on a bike and there's like, oh, he must be feeding them. He has food. There's a guy on a bike and there's like 20 deer around him. This is insane. on our way here, I was reading a little history about this. Apparently way back when, it was actually illegal to kill the deer here. So until 1637, if you killed a deer, you got the death penalty. It's pretty harsh. They are now still protected, but they're not seen as like holy anymore. Wow, there's so many of them. Oh my gosh, that one kind of has a limp. That's so sad.
Deer fact, in 2017, there were 1,500 deer in the town of Nara. And I think we've seen about 50 of them. So, Amy, what happened?
I just looked to the right and all of a sudden there was a deer looking through the gates and it scared me. Hi, honey. Hi. You scared me really bad. Sorry to startle you.
It's just so wild to see so many deer just like roaming the streets and roaming the park. They cross the street just like the pedestrians do. Super cool.
Do they wave for the light? Fun fact, in here in Japan, it is still green. The light turns green, but they call it blue. I don't know why, but they go, oh, blue, 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 and you like run across when it's blue, but it's really green.
So we're gonna go see if this deer wants some grass. Because the other deer over there, they like it. I don't got the biscuit cookies. Would you like some grass?
Oh.
Rejected. Are you interested in some grass?
Doesn't have a taker.
Oh yeah. Not cookies, but it's healthy.
Get your greens.
Get your greens. Well, that was quite successful, I'd say. We fed the deer with some green leafy vegetables. Can't just eat the cookies. Gotta eat your veg. Life lessons by Yev.
We took a few hours actually and sat up on a rock bench with some beautiful flower trees behind us and a lake in front of us because there were these super sweet elderly men that were all out doing watercolor and painting and just, I don't know, sitting peacefully and then socializing. And then Yev actually set up my iPad so that I could do a little coloring too.
Yeah.
So it was just really nice. We sat just enjoying the piece of the day. We are now still walking through Nara Park and gonna head to some gardens. But look at all the deer. Hey buddy. Only in Japan, you got your vending machines and then you have your deer.
I told you they used a crosswalk too. This is hot mochi that's dipped in sweet soy sauce. Not as good as the other ones we had.
For a buck though, it's good. Mochi all day. Buddhist temple, and what makes this one special in particular is that there is a ginormous golden Buddha statue inside. It costs about $10 per person to enter, so we're not going to go in, but we are going to walk around and see if we can get a view. Another garden that's free for international tourists. I don't really understand that. Usually it's like free for locals, but we'll take it. The lovely lady told us we have about 15 to 20 minutes to walk around. There's a pond garden, a moss garden, and then a third one, a flower garden. She asked us how we found this garden, and we were like, oh, we were just wandering around, you know, just the area and the town. And she told us that we were very lucky to find such a nice garden by just wandering around.
And we have this all to ourselves.
we've seen several of these trees, but we've only seen white ones. Look at the pink. These ones are about to bud. Oh my gosh. They're like whimsical, yet like bold and strong. I love them. Dogwoods are my favorite at home. And this is kind of reminding me of that, but I don't know what the name of this is. So if you know what the name of it is, write it in the comment section because I want to know. It's beautiful.
I would say this garden has been a total 100% success. And it's so amazing that it's free for tourists. I think the cost of it for locals is only 250 yen, which is like $2.50. But still, to get this, and because we came here half hour before close, there was only like 4 other people in here.
I'm so glad we found something that wasn't closed, and it was free, and it was great. I'm hungry. Noodle time after our garden time. That was the plan. Every day, Yevon and I say we are going to go home early and not walk as much, which we started the day with that in mind, and we were succeeding. We stopped at a park. We hung out there for a little while. It was great. But then we started walking, seeing all the temples, seeing all the places.
The gardens.
The gardens. It was beautiful, but our feet are exhausted. And we haven't eaten anything since that mochi you saw. Anyway, we just hiked up a big hill in hopes to find some noodles, and then we'll be headed back.
Here's the place, I think, and hopefully it's open.
Did we make it? I think it looks right.
Why don't you come over?
So I got fish and Yevon got meat, and it was with the soba noodles and some vegetables. The broth was delicious. I didn't even add any spice to it because it was so flavorful. But we finished our meal. It's pouring rain outside. That's why I'm videoing this quickly in here. But this restaurant is beautiful. There's these glass bowls all around the ceiling, and there's a beautiful table behind me. I don't know if you need a reservation, but it could seat a whole family. The owner of this restaurant is super friendly, and then we even got to watch a little sumo wrestling with him. So it's been a great night. We're gonna run back to the train station in the rain, and we'll see you tomorrow. He gave us an umbrella as a present. I've talked about the hospitality here in Japan many times, but this is just like above and beyond. We went into this restaurant and there was a family that was just leaving, and it was no one else in the restaurant. And he had sumo wrestling on, and after a while it kind of started to seem like the match was a big deal and he really wanted to watch it, but he was making our noodles while he kind of watched it, and then as soon as he finished making our noodles, he like quickly made himself some and then was like sorry, and like sat behind us so that he could watch the match. He was super friendly. Nothing in the restaurant's in English. Totally worth going though. You can basically pick fish, meat, tempura, or vegetable, hot or cold noodles, and it was delicious. 10 stars if that's a thing. And we're really happy. We're gonna get back to the train station and we're gonna be dry.